Imagine someone telling you your life could be significantly better if you can just complete a jigsaw puzzle. The only catch is you've only been given a pile of pieces and no picture of what it's supposed to be. Heck, you don't even know if you have enough pieces to complete the puzzle. That's how I felt when my surgeon told me about a month ago that it was time to have my back fused. I'd had an injury 28 years ago and I'd had surgery on it and it was fantastic. But over the years it deteriorated and got a little bit worse until finally it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. My wife and I decided it was time to go back to the doctor, have them take a look, and sure enough, it was time to have a back fusion. I wasn't real excited about the prospect of surgery, but I am very excited about the prospect of being better. So what do you do when you have this giant pile of puzzle pieces and you have no idea what to do with them? That's where I was. And after a lot of research, looking at the blogs and the videos of other people who've been through this process, who've had this surgery, who've recovered from it, it came down to three things for me. I needed to get my environment right. My wife and I live in a motorhome, and we work from the road, and we travel all over the place because of that. And as a result, we live in a small space. We have two giant dogs. I'm a leather worker, so I have a sewing machine and all kinds of things that take up floor space. Needed to get that all sorted out in addition to just the small pieces of help that I could get that will make my surgery recovery go a little bit better. The second thing that I needed to figure out was the emotional aspects. It's been very frustrating to go through this process of my back deteriorating, but it's where I've been, and it's taken its toll on my emotions. So I needed to get those in check, and not really in check, but I needed to get those addressed to make sure that I wasn't going to leave myself in a difficult situation. And finally, I needed to get my body prepared for surgery. I'm not a model of health. I do the best that I can, but certainly there was plenty of room for improvement, and I'm going to tell you how I did all three of these things. It's 5 days till surgery. We'll find out on the other side if that was going to pay off. But yeah, here's what I did. So the first thing is I needed to get my environment right. As I said, we live in this motorhome and we travel, and it's a small space and it's very tight. The first part, we came to where my wife's company has an office, and they have associated with it a condo for when people travel and visit this office. They are so graciously letting us stay there to give me more of a normal, quote unquote, normal environment to recuperate in. And I cannot thank them enough for that. Secondly, I do struggle with generalized anxiety disorder and clinical depression, and they've been a major facet of my life for years. I've been very public about them with my friends and family and online because I think it's important to be, to kind of end the stigma around it. But truth be told, they've been affecting me badly lately. I've had a lot of surgeries from injuries in the past, and this is the first time I'll have had emotional help with it. And I think it's going to make the recovery 1,000 times better. You'll know because as I document this process, I'm going to keep talking about it and let you know what it's like to have that aspect of healthcare included beside the physical, but also the mental. Looking at the videos and the blogs that document the experiences of other people who've had the back fusion that I'm going to have, I learned that there are a lot of doodads, for lack of a better term, that can make my recovery a lot better. I learned to buy a bidet. I bought a portable one. I bought a step to help me get up onto the bed. The way that you have to get in and out of bed after a L5-S1 fusion requires you to be a little higher up when you try and get into and out of the bed. So we bought a step for that. We bought some heating packs. We bought some cooling packs, basically ice packs, to help with comfort levels and pain levels. We bought grabbers so that I can pick things up on the floor, and I've been practicing with those. I've been practicing pulling my pants up with them so I can reach. I won't be able to bend over when I'm recovering from my surgery for quite a while, so those grabbers will be invaluable. I've got a cane. Now, I bought that not specifically for the recovery from the surgery. I bought it because it's very difficult for me to get around right now. But that's been tremendously helpful, and I anticipate that it will continue to be. Let's think. What else did we get? Oh, I bought back scratchers. Someone mentioned that they were really annoyed that they couldn't reach their ankle when they had an itch. And so it made sense to buy a pack of back scratchers. I bought 3 of them off Amazon. They were really dirt cheap. They're kind of goofy. But you know what? When I'm sitting there watching TV, I don't want to say, hey, Amy, can you go down and scratch the top of my foot? Lots of other little things. I'll do a little video on those things specifically in the future and give a review of how they're working for me and what I would have done differently, or what I might do at the time if I'm come up with a better idea for something that's not functioning well. But getting the environment was an enormous step for me. I do suffer from clinical depression and generalized anxiety disorder, and they've been raging. I've been nearly not bedbound, but homebound for several months now. If I go out to the store, I can't finish a grocery shop without being in extreme pain. I'm sitting in a Costco parking lot right now, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But I finish a half a walk through Costco, and then it's too much for me. And that takes its toll emotionally. Living the lifestyle that Amy and I live, you don't see a lot of other people if you're not out and about. And that's been difficult. And that has made me feel very isolated, very lonely. And when you combine that with pain, if you do have, and maybe even if you don't have clinical depression, it can trigger that. And it definitely has in me. And it took me a while to recognize it. But once I did, I realized time to get some professional help. I'm not embarrassed to get emotional help, mental health help. I see it as an obligation both to myself and to the people that I love to make all of our lives better. And so I've sought out a counselor who not only can help with those issues, but also can help me with the pain, dealing with the pain of the surgery and the recovery. There are counselors who specialize in that, and a relative of mine who does that kind of work reminded me of it and encouraged me to find a counselor who can do that. And I did, and I'm super excited. I've had a lot of surgeries for various injuries over my life, and I've never used this kind of help before, and I'm super excited about it, and I'm super anxious to see how it improves things for me as I go through this process. So that's the emotional. The next is physical. I need to get my body ready for surgery. I'm not the paragon of good health despite my Adonis-looking body. It's okay. I can admit that as well. I ate an okay diet, but not a great diet. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I decided it's time to improve that. I truly believe in the body's ability to heal itself within reason, of course. I knew that my diet needed to improve. So Amy and I have really been trying to improve the variety of things we eat, and especially natural foods. A lot of fruits and vegetables. I've been eating tons of salads. That's been fantastic. It's been delicious too. I actually think this is probably a change we're going to stick with. We've been putting all kinds of ingredients: artichokes, chickpeas, peas, carrots, peppers, spring mix, you name sunflower seeds, you name it, we're putting into these salads, and they've been delicious. And I truly feel physically better. I feel like things are running better in my body. I feel emotionally clearer. I feel less tired. I can just tell the nutrition changes have made a big difference for me. And I've been told and I've read that that makes a big difference in your healing as well. I've been trying to get out and trying to walk. As I mentioned, it's very difficult for me to do. It's only been in the last few months that I went from, at the beginning of 2024, my wife took some time off from one job before she started another job, and we toured the Western U.S. and Canada and the Canadian Rockies. We visited, I think it was 11 national parks in 10 weeks, or was it 10 national parks in 11 weeks? Either way, we did a lot, and we went out and about. I wasn't able to hike the way I hiked in previous years, but I did get out to see a lot, and I did get to get out and enjoy the nature. It was marvelous. But as the year 2024 went on, it got to the point by September, October, where it was getting more and more difficult for me to spend any time on my feet. And certainly by December, I couldn't finish a grocery shop. That's where we are now, and I've been forcing myself to get out. One, it helps with the emotional aspects. I see other people, I get to interact with other people. That has really brightened my spirits, lifted my spirits up. Two, the physical activity, despite how much pain it puts me in, and despite that it takes me a couple of days to recover after a trip out, like I'm sitting in front of Costco right now. It's going to take me a couple of days to recover from this, but it's worth it right now because one, it's getting my body moving. Two, I know that walking is going to be crucial to my recovery. And three, again, the emotional aspect that I just mentioned. It's been a godsend to get out and see other people. Also with the physical, the doctor sent me a nutrition primer that he wanted me to be on for the week prior to surgery. I'm taking a protein drink, which sounds okay, but it's really awful. It's basically fish oil, milk, and vanilla flavoring and a bunch of nutrients. It is vile, but I look at it as a medication and not as a food, and that has helped me get through chugging these things down twice a day. I also have some vitamin supplements that are supposed to help with wound healing and with pain management a little bit. And then on top of that, the improved diet that I've been doing. I do have type 2 diabetes. It runs in my family. Just about everybody gets it, whether you're 100 pounds or 300 pounds. We all seem to get it. So that limited one of the supplements they wanted me to be on. It was a carbohydrate drink to help with hydration. Because I can't take that, I've been really working hard on hydration with Gatorade Zero, sugar-free Gatorade, with milk. I'm not a big milk drinker, but I've been trying to drink 16 ounces of milk a day, both for the hydration factor and for the calcium, since I'm going to need my bones to be able to grow and fuse together here. I want to give them every chance that I can for them to be successful. I've been drinking a lot of water. And again, these have all had impacts on my health that maybe I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't have the back pain as a kind of a baseline. If I did all these changes without the back pain, I'm not sure, because I've done them before, and I'm not sure if I would have felt a difference like I feel now. It's dramatic. My back pain and everything is still there. It really hasn't changed, but the rest of my body functions are really changing. And boy, I feel silly saying this at 52 years old. I really need to eat better. I mean, look at me. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. It's not about my body shape or my body weight, but boy, is this making me feel good. So these are things that are going to continue. Anyway, so those are the three areas that I felt like I needed to prepare for this surgery. I needed to improve my environment. I needed to improve my emotional health, and I needed to do what I could to improve my physical health and my physical well-being before the surgery happened. I need this to work. I can't continue on the way it's been. It has been a living hell to deal with this pain. And I'm anxious. I'm optimistic. And I know I'm in the right hands with my doctor and his team. And I plan on continuing to document this journey. I hope that something I give can help in the same way that all of the wonderful human beings that have shared their stories helped me. Maybe so. If you're interested in following this process, please subscribe to this channel. I'm not really planning on being a YouTuber, but if you subscribe, I'm planning on doing a pretty regular thing on my improvement here. So hopefully you do. Share it, comment on it. I'd love to hear if any of this rings with you. And yeah, I'll put up another video probably before my surgery, which is in 5 days, and hope to hear back from you. Take care.